I'm Terrence James, and you're watching another episode of Neutral Reviews, where we try and stay neutral and let how the facts feel on road drive your decision. And today, as you can see, we're doing something a little bit different because we're not reviewing a car, we are reviewing something that goes inside the car. In fact, we are looking at the new and improved 2023 Carlinkit 5.0 2air, and it's a wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto adapter. So as long as your car has native Android Auto or Apple CarPlay that is wired, you can do this without losing that. Essentially what happens is you plug this into your car so it still thinks that it's wired, and your phone will now talk to this thinking that your infotainment is wireless. So what we want to do is do an unboxing of this wonderful new product that we have got to test from AutoKitCarPlay.com. They are not sponsoring this video, but we do like this product very much, so we have started to work together with them to get you an 18% promo code that we will show you at the end of the video. So after the unboxing, we'll show you how to hook it up, some of the features, and test it a little bit, and lead to our final thoughts as always. So here we go. All right, unboxing time, and this is the most fun because this reminds me of your birthday or some kind of holiday where you just get to rip those gifts open. Now, I do apologize because I've taken a lot of that fun away from you and from me because they only sent me one of these and I already got to do that off camera. So anyway, here is the box without the fun wrap on the outside to rip off. And it's quite a nice box, as you can see. It really feels and looks something like an Apple product or something. Like, it's quite a nice, expensive feeling box. I'll set everything down here so you can see better. We slide the case off the outside, and ta-da! Sitting right on the top there, and its little bed is your Carlinkit 2air. So as you can see, it is a nice unit. One of the upgrades from the 4 to the 5 on the outside here are these holes. It's supposed to breathe a little bit better and dissipate heat and whatnot. And on its logo on the front there, that will actually light up, and the different colors will tell you different things, like is it hooked up, is it hooking up, things like that. Yeah, it's pretty nice. And again, it does have some weight to it. It does feel expensive, kind of like how an iPhone or something like that has some weight to it, but it's not irritating. It's just enough weight to make it feel like it's a good product. And that's exactly what this feels like. I quite like it, so we'll set it down here for you to see. Okay, now we'll remove this top part here, the little bed that it was in, and we'll set that down there. And you have two cables that they give you. They're virtually the same thing as far as their use goes, but one is a USB to USB-C. There you go, somewhere there, yep. And this one is USB-C to USB-C. So really it just depends on what kind of car you have and things like that. So I will be using this one, which is the USB to USB-C connector, because my car is old school for a 2020, which is sad that sounds old, but anyway. So what else do we have in the box? Well, again, sounds silly, but this is one of my favorite parts. Check this out. This is the owner's manual thing. And look, colored pictures. I come from an era from the Game Boy, and I remember it was a big deal because Sega and some of the other companies, they did not have colored pictures in their manuals, and I always thought that was a big deal. Nintendo did that, so good on this company for making a fancy owner's manual. And I'm sure because of all the environmental things nowadays, it's probably online too. I don't know about that, but anyway, what else comes in the box is this looks like two-sided tape, and I can only assume that is because this thingamabopper here, your adapter, maybe you want to stick it somewhere. You got like a little cubby hole or something like I do, and that might help it stick in there a little bit. But essentially, that is your unboxing. So let us move and show you how to hook this thing up. And don't be intimidated, because I am known amongst most people that have ever met me, especially the toll-free numbers I call, as the tech nightmare. But I was also one of those kids that could almost every time figure out how to put the square peg in the square hole, or the circle one in the circle one. So if you were one of those kids, then you should be just fine. So get one of those two cables that's going to match up to this in your car and hook it into your device. And then we are going to hook it in to our car here. So here we go. Now, the next thing that you want to do is, since we're hooking this to a phone, is pair it to your phone that you want to hook up wirelessly. So Wi-Fi and Bluetooth have to be on, so my Wi-Fi is already on, and we're going to pair it through Bluetooth. And we are going to go to our AutoKit down here and hit there, and da-da-da-da-da-da. What should happen up here is we should get our Apple CarPlay icon. Oh, there we go. All right. So we're going to hit that. And it is going to ask us to connect down here. And it will do its thing up here. Now, as this is connecting, let me tell you a little bit more about Neutral Reviews. If you're not a regular viewer, we do full walk-around car reviews where we do drives and engaging tests and everything else and try to lead you to your final thoughts, because we do real reviews for real decisions, and we try to stay neutral and let how the facts on road feel drive you to your final decision. And our subscribers are our fellow neutral reviewers who will tell you how they feel in the comments below. All right, so as you can see, we have it hooked up. Now, let's test this thing out a little bit. So it's already hooked up to the car here. So what's one of the things that you're going to use this for? Well, you're probably going to listen to stuff. So let's just try out a YouTube approved song. So I shouldn't get in any trouble here. So this is our theme song for Neutral Reviews. So one of the things that I find sometimes with these types of devices is there's a little bit of a lag. So as you can see here, pause does probably take half a second. The actual screen is quite responsive, but the actual data moving back and forth does take half a second there. There we go. But the actual song itself here, as you can see, it is not buffering. It's going nice and smooth, as well as the volume. That's some of the other things that you want to check. Sometimes I've found before where I would think the volume would be, it's a lot quieter. So I don't know technically the reason why that happens, but this here I have not found that. So right now I'm going to put this about halfway. This is about what halfway sounds like in my car, absolutely. So as you can hear, that sounds really, really strong. So I'm getting all the sound that I would normally get. It's not lagging, it's not buffering, it's strong. That works really well. And what about, can I use my native functionality? So as you can see here, I'm using my normal head unit here, but what about my steering wheel? I happen to have one of those cars where you can use the steering wheel buttons. So here are my volume, and I can rewind the track. And again, it's minor of a sec, like just parts of a second slow. It does really work really, really well. Yeah, what else? Okay, so on here, as you can see, I do have multiple apps. That's one of the nice things with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. So let's go to the maps here. So I should hopefully be able to use the maps at the exact same time. So as you can see, I've got the maps up here. Works really well. You know, I can pull that up, no problem. I can go back to my music. I can go back here as well to my native user interface for Subaru and transition back to Apple CarPlay like I normally would. I can go back on my device here, probably not while you're driving, but if you're not driving, and as you can see, you can work it through your device as well. So yeah, it does work really, really normal. Now, what is another thing that I want to test on here? Sometimes you got to leave the car, but you still only for a second. Maybe you got to run to the trunk, maybe you got to go to the other side of the car or something else like that. So we're going to put this back on here. We're going to crank it up. And we're going to take our device with us, and we're going to leave the car for a sec, and we're going to go to the trunk. Come with me. So as you can hear, that's still really, really strong, and I can come back here seamlessly. So you can see this works really, really well. So yeah, I'm really, really enjoying this product, hence why we're reviewing it and getting you a discount. So let's lead to our final thoughts. Now, if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and check out one of our fun car reviews so we can get more cool products like this one and the cars we review. Now, we set out in this review to do an unboxing, set it up, show you around it a little bit, and lead you to your final thoughts. And as always, if you are a subscriber, well, that means you are a fellow neutral reviewer, so tell us how you feel in the comments below. And here are the facts and feels that we use to come up with your final thought. Which is, if you were in the market for a wireless Android Auto or wireless Apple CarPlay adapter because you were sick and tired of these cables getting in your way and frustrating you and just not looking nice, then I don't think that you can go wrong with the new and improved Carlinkit 5.0 2air wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto adapter. Really the only downside is the fact that when your phone is plugged in, it's being charged. And sometimes these devices, this one's not too bad, can use a little bit more of that power. But so does your native system if you do have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Anytime it's not plugged in and you don't have it on a wireless charger, well, then you're going to be using the power. So that's really only the downside to it. This new and improved version, it runs a lot faster. It doesn't overheat, things like that. As you saw, it is a pretty good device. Really, the 4.0, the one before that, the real benefit to that is it's a little bit slower than this for lag and stuff like that if you are an Apple user. But one of the benefits to it is if you only have a car that has Apple CarPlay wired and you have an Android phone, believe it or not, what that 4.0 will do is run Android Auto through Apple CarPlay, so you could actually use that on your car. Whereas the new version, to speed it up a little bit, it actually uses Apple CarPlay for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto for Android Auto. So if your car does not have Android Auto and you have an Android phone, well, the 5.0 wouldn't be great for you. But otherwise, both the 4.0 and the 5.0 and all those other situations really is a good solution. It's nice and small, easy to hook up, and thereafter it pretty much just acts like your normal system always would. Thanks for watching, and we will see you again next time.